her mouth moving. And I said, they can't see me anymore or hear me anymore. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I know it's raining really badly over here. And I'm sorry to interrupt. I know one came in the middle, but we were talking about, I think I was mentioning my experience. Did you guys, I don't know how much you
Yeah,
heard.
we jumped to bad resumes because once you were speaking, we had to go to the next topic. So
Oh,
what Anna was speaking on is the format of resumes. The font
mm-hmm.
not aligning and what's on a resume. So I'll let her continue.
Yeah. Okay.
I forgot my train of thought.
I'm so sorry.
No worries. When it's too lengthy, so many times that I've seen a lengthy resume, and honestly, I didn't even like care to look at any other thing, but just like pass it through and not go with that person. I'm sure that was a great candidate, but it was just too much to read, right? Especially when we're interviewing and we have because now, especially in the job market, like you put something out there, there's tons of resumes that you receive, right? And out of that 50 resumes, we have to sort through that to come up with just 10, right? And then we do the interviews for 10, then we have to narrow it down to the 5. And then based on what we're offering, who's going to accept it, then we have to go through the motion of, okay, let's narrow down to 3 people. And then out of those 3 people, then we're trying to figure out, okay, who's going to accept the offer with the amount that we're given, right? So those are some of the experiences so far with that. But the biggest one, especially when I was coaching, was people not having a story and not understanding their story because they see this Scrum experience as such a far-fetched thing that they feel like they need to make up a story, where in reality you're living in your story and people want to hear that it's part of you and who you are. No matter what job you've done prior to come into this space, now you just need to understand how to tell the story that makes sense for you. So I think those are the top 3 things that I've seen so far. Your story not aligning, your font's not aligning, and lengthy resume. Just showing on red.
I can agree with that. And I remember telling, I think I may have mentioned it to Damo. There's times where I've seen a resume where it's like definitely lengthy, but also it seems like, perhaps it's what you mean when you say no story, where it's like all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Specialize in everything, and I can't really get a grasp on the direction they're heading, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a specialty? I couldn't even narrow it down. And to be honest with you, there has been times where I've seen resumes like that, and the person also attends the interview that way.
They're very colorful. They're all over the place.
Exactly. So you definitely want to make sure, because that resume is a representation of you prior to your arrival, right? So, and it was exactly what, so when I'm looking at a chaotic, I guess, for lack of better words, resume, the first thing I'm thinking, how does this person process things? How do they categorize things? So I definitely agree with the lengthy, unorganized resume. Yeah. Another thing I want to point out with resume that I found to be super important, not necessarily bad resume, but perhaps not written in the best way that's suitable for the job that you're looking for. I find that there are times where people will write a resume, they'll have this one resume, and they'll use that for every single job that they're applying for, not realizing that, you should actually customize that resume based on the job description, right? So sometimes people will say they'll have this one resume, they're applying to all of these jobs, they're not getting any hits. No one's responding back, but you're not customizing it using those same power words or those trigger words that are in the description, right? To draw your resume out. When you get hundreds of resumes. So for me, I feel that's something that I would always recommend doing, is making sure that you customize it to the job description.
No, I think that's really important, because when you don't customize, I think also it's laziness, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Lazy, feel like, well, it's a Scrum job or it's an agile coach position. They need the same thing, but in reality, we have AI now that can help us with our resumes, put in the keywords, put in the job description, and tell it to mirror. Like, there's just so many things. But if you're not
Yeah,
show up for yourself, then don't have expectation to get a job.
that's right. Yeah, that's the key word is laziness. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, want to use the same resume, regardless of the job description. Even if the job title changes slightly, they still use the same one. So yeah, I think that is the key word.
I think you both hit every point that I was going to bring up about being all over the place, the fonts, and then telling a story or the lengthy resume. What I like to do, what I like to coach on is be very direct in what the job is looking for, because what they want to see is how can you support the company or the team that you're going to be going to.
Mm-hmm.
They're not looking for all these extra accolades that they don't care about. They have one thing that they're trying to fill, and I've experienced this when I was a federal program manager. They were like, "What do you think about this person?" And I'm looking like, "Well, I don't think we need them." Like, they're doing something that someone else is doing. I know we're trying to build Scrum teams, cross-functional Scrum teams, but it doesn't make sense to bring someone on that is a piece that is at the lower tier of what we're trying to accomplish. Mm-hmm. We need a high performer and hit all of these boxes, right? So I think when you're building your resume, you need to look at what their pain points are, key in on those pain points, and elaborate on how you can help on those things by showing metrics or telling a story about how you helped another organization get over that hurdle. So that's one thing that I do try to coach mentees on, or if I try to coach anyone on, is build your resume and make sure that you're, like Pia said, going off of the job description and not just the general sense of what a Scrum Master is or anything in Agile, because you're not going to get picked. And,
I have one more thing to also add to that. I would also recommend when you're writing your resume, not necessarily use repetition. So if you are writing down bullets on one job, highlighting certain skills or things that you've done, if you can avoid doing that in the next section, if you know, to minimize, reduce the resume from 2 or 4 pages, you can put it in one job, and then maybe if you have other things that you've done, you can, highlight those in the other job instead of repeating things over and over again. That just reduces the resume, I think.
No, that's right. And just to add, right, you can be a good candidate, but how you show up for yourself on that resume matter, right? It's not that you're not knowledgeable, you don't know what to do,
right?
But you are a good candidate. You're just not packaged. It's not just packaged the way you should be.
Yep.
What I would say to that.
And I know Tim is not on the call, but we've had some.
It's defining you.
Yep, I agree.
I know Tim is not on the call, but we've interviewed some people before, and they look good on their resume. But when they got on the interview, it was horrible because they never answered a question that we asked, right? Now, I understand that you want to let people know that you are knowledgeable in Scrum, you're knowledgeable in Agile, but I'm asking you a specific question because the company needs something, right? You're talking around the question is not going to help. It's not going to help us when it comes to filling this position, because someone is very direct, and it has to be a dialogue. So I gave you something. Now let me get a little more insight on what the company needs from me, and let me tell you if I can support that, or give you a scenario when I help with a situation like that. Companies love things like that because they're like, oh, I love that response. I didn't even think about that. And from a coaching aspect, asking questions is the best answer sometimes after you answer a question, really. But you got to guide people to different answers. And being a Scrum Master and being an Agile coach, some companies just don't know exactly what the problem is, but you have to give them a way to figure that out, right? So I was trying to have my therapist open too, because a lot of therapy that he's given me, he asked me a lot of questions to guide me to my answer. He didn't tell me the answer.
Yeah.
He just made me think about it in a different way.
Heard that about this. That we should figure out on your own. They don't want you to become dependent. They're supposed to be teaching you how to be independent thinkers. They're thinking partners or something like that.
Well, that's what we do, right?
Yeah.
We're like therapists at work.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely. You know, what was I going to say? I think sometimes too in interviews, I know that wasn't what we were going to talk about, but really quickly on interviews, the problem is that probably they're not actually listening to the question or they're not understanding it, right? So instead of rephrasing it so that they understand or asking you to state it again to make sure that they understand. So that's probably one thing that they can do. Another thing is too, I think people don't understand that it's okay to take your time to think for a moment. You don't have to blurt out any answer. You can say, just give me a moment, and take your time, I think feel uncomfortable. They don't realize that you can do that. And then also, not often, but there are times where you can safely say, now, hopefully it's not something that you've done throughout the entire interview, but there are times where you say, you know what? I'm not really sure, right? You don't want to make something up, So, and I've had successful interviews where there has been a point where I can say, or I've answered it and it wasn't to the extent that I would have liked to, and I would say, that's all that I would say, but I'm not going to start making things up. You know what I mean? People start making things up or they just blurt out the answer without making sure they understand it.
So another way, because I can see where somebody's saying that I'm not sure the answer it can go down the rabbit hole for them, right? Because another way is just to ask, how is your company doing it, right? What has worked for your company so far? I think it's okay that's part of that conversation having with that interview. Sort of just like understanding, like, I haven't experienced that before, but is that something you've experienced in your current in the organization right now? Please tell me a little bit more about it, right?
That's good. Mm-hmm.
Because it helps you feel like you're engaged. It helps them to think and to know that you're engaged, you care, you want to know more. You now have, and this is another thing about Scrum Master. Sorry, now I'm really getting. I may have been a Scrum Master for 6 years, going on 7 years, but it does not mean that I've experienced everything that it is that I should know about. So it's so important to know that each experience is important. That's why podcasts like this, shows like this, other shows or other podcasts on Scrum Master and learning other people's experiences will help you so you can leverage that on your role, because there's no way, even if you were here for 20 years, that you would have experienced everything you need to experience as a Scrum Master or even as a coach, right? So leverage the stories, leverage the resources that are out there to be able to build on your own story.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely make that happen.
And I think a lot of people think that the Scrum Master role or different roles in the project management and Agile is something that all you do is facilitate ceremonies, and that's not what we do. We don't just get on the call and say, all right, what did you do yesterday? What are you doing today? What are your blockers? And just leave for the rest of the day. That's not what a Scrum Master is. You're tracking dependencies. You're looking at metrics to see how the team is progressing. You're trying to see what pain points the team is experiencing. You're in constant communication with stakeholders and management to see what we need to do to improve. You are there to make the team better. And you have to create different ways to make the team better. You have to be a creator in a sense. You can't just say, oh, you didn't tell me to do that. Nobody's coming, nobody's going to pay you 6 figures to tell you what to do. That's not this type of job. You have to think through problems, be creative in solving problems, and be motivating others to solve those problems as well.
Yeah, and really quickly, now we're on this, somebody grab a hold early. That's exactly what we're doing right now. But what I always want to, this is why it's important first of all, you always want to deliver value, right? So that's number one. You always want to deliver value. But this is why when I try to describe it to people, a Scrum Master to me is a process specialist. Mm-hmm. I look at it more as a process specialist. So your ultimate, your primary goal really is to look at the process, the gaps in the process, to see how you can close those gaps and improve the process or workflows, like to be like a liaison between maybe different teams, to improve in coordination and collaboration, to help them become more organized and efficient. So when you have that mindset, you're at that point, you should step out of the facilitating role, right? You'll know that it's a lot more than that. So I always try to lead with the process specialist. Your specialty is improving process.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good. It's really funny that you say that, because when I founded the company, right, I thought about holiday systems, right? The systems, implementing different systems to make organizations run better, work more efficiently, and deliver value faster, right? That's why it says agile adoption. So a lot of people don't know what agile is, but you use different aspects of agile everywhere all the time, even in your day-to-day. Pia, I know on your Instagram, you talk about breaking your goals down and having a plan on accomplishing those goals and seeing what's working and what's not working, right? This could be in the gym, that could be financially, that could be anything that you think of. You have to have that mindset and those principles when you're working on the team. So I like those points that you made, Pia, but I don't want to run out of time. What time is it? It's 8:00, and I do want to get to some of these other topics. So the hardest lessons you had to learn just in life or on your job, think about that, and what were they? So the hardest lessons you ever had to learn. Anna, you can go first.
Thanks for putting me on the spot. The hardest lesson, I don't know if it's the hardest, because I still have more life to live. So,
right now, it was the hardest.
I think the lesson that I've had to learn is that influencing people takes time. It takes time. It takes time because sometimes what we read and then we get into the actual playing ground, it's not the same. And that can impact your role. It can impact you as a person, right? So it's just like understanding patience. Like when they say patience is a virtue, I think now that I'm getting older, I actually understand what that actually means. Because before, I think I was just saying it and didn't know. But now that I'm older and I'm working in corporate space, I get to really live in that space, right? And the saddest part is like you have so much to say, but then you really don't have much authority, right?
Mm-hmm.
You decide to believe you as the subject matter expert, or they can just continue working how they've always worked, right? And there's nothing you can do about it, right? So, and that's the part that really irks my soul the most about the role that we do with the teams and organization. However, it has made me broaden my horizon more to focus on people.
Mm-hmm.
People.
Pia, were you going to say something?
Yeah. I'm not sure if she was.
Yeah. No.
But I guess I would have two if we're talking about professionally, right? Mm-hmm. So one is you get paid what your value is, what the market deems, right? Your value is not what your mother thinks, not what your brothers and sisters think, right? So whatever value you contribute to the market, that's what you will get paid. All right. So that's one thing I had to learn. So for someone who feels that they're not getting paid enough, think about how much value you're contributing to the market, and perhaps you should consider improving on your skill sets and your knowledge and education and things like that, so you can deliver more value to the market. So that's one thing. I believe that there was one more, and I kind of lost my train of thought on that one, but the other one was okay, so you know how any other coach, right? Like all other coaches are sought out. A piano coach, basketball coach, football coach, karate coach. It can be any coach. The person comes and seeks them, and they're excited, and they pay them the money, and they want to be coached. I swear, agile coaches are the only coaches that are not sought out by the people that they got to work with day to day. We're sought out by like the top organization, senior leadership was like, yeah, let's get scrum masters, let's get agile coaches. They go about their business. But the people you have to work with at the time, they are not excited. They did not seek you out. They're not interested. They're not inspired and all of this stuff. So it's a much more challenging task than like a football coach. I mean, I'm not saying that their task isn't hard, but it's a totally different approach because these people are not like as not everyone is excited when you're trying to tell them, especially if they're a complex, a fast-moving environment. And here you go trying to tell them that they need to set up these events and they need to start doing better refinements. They got to start estimating, and they're already feeling like they have a lot going on. And here you go. So that is one thing too that I had to. I don't know if it was necessarily hard, but it's definitely something that I like to point out to people, especially people that I'm working with. Like, I like to let them know, like, although I'm a coach, it doesn't mean I like to let senior leadership know. Like, I'm a coach, but understanding the battles or the obstacles I have to face as a coach, because half these people are not excited.
Yeah, speaking of that, Pia, let me chime in for a bit because I see Adrian is just joined.
Hi.
So this is my therapist. My therapist. He started out as my marriage counselor, but now he's primarily my therapist.
Even down life, huh?
So what he's done for me, he's made me a better man. He's made me a better husband. He's made me a better communicator at work as well. So I know when we first met, I didn't want to go to therapy. I was like, what? My wife was like, let's go to therapy. I was like, I don't want to go to therapy. I don't need that. But it's just like what we do at work. Like when he's going into a situation, I'll let him speak on that too. Most of the time, the man doesn't want to go. It's the wife that pulls the man, and then now he's stuck with me. I told him I'm never letting him go. So, but I'll let him introduce himself. So, Adrian, this is what we're doing. So, on the introduction, just tell everyone who you are, what you do, and then what your purpose in life is. That's a general statement.
Oh, okay, cool. So I'm Adrian White. I am a therapist and I'm a coach as well, too, which is I'm a much better coach than I think I am a therapist, which is what I mostly do with Dominique, right? So he just like to say therapy, but we mostly do coaching. Yeah, I love it. Been in the field for about 12 years now. And then in terms of my purpose, well, first, it's my family first and foremost, making sure that they are able to live, survive without me, be able to thrive and identify what it is that they're meant to do. And then outside of my family, it's people, it's marriages, it's men, it's women too. I mostly just reserve a lot of my time though for the men because like Dominique was saying, they be hesitant. And then if they are open to working with someone, they want to work with a Black man. So I leave my schedule kind of open for them. And it's funny about my purpose because it just kept evolving, and so that's one thing I tell people, as you figure out first what the purpose is of a man in general, but then you just start to walk towards it, it'll become clearer and clearer and it'll evolve, in so many different ways. And so who knows? Well, I do know the next stage is going to be blended families for me. So for this season, I'm mostly just focusing on men marriages. Then it's going to be, okay, I have to put something together to teach families how to come together and how to blend and the things they need to be paying attention to and watching out for, etc. So
when you say blended families, please excuse my ignorance. I want to make sure I understand that. Are you talking about families that come together and they already have children separate from separate marriages and relationships? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Adrian, I think he's an expert at what he does. He's got me to a place where I'm really at peace. And Pia, you and Tim, like this didn't happen overnight. I know you guys met me and talk to me now, but this didn't happen overnight. So I see Archie Musa, one of my best friends, my brother, he joined too. So I want to get his take on some things. I know we're going to run out of time soon, but I do want to hit some more points. So, Archie, you could introduce yourself, tell everyone who you are, what you do, and your purpose. If it's a general question, not like what you do at work, your purpose at work, just in life in general.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, hey, how y'all doing, man? Good evening, man. Sorry I was running a little late, man. Technical difficulties, to say the least.
Oh,
But
I know.
Currently, I own my own company. I'm a creative director at my company, contract, do a few other clients. You basically running their social media and whatnot. I'm a touring comedian right now on top of that, but I'm pretty sure the most useful information right now would be a creative director for my company. Right now, we're over, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Andrew Schultz. I will help start his podcast and get it up going. Currently running Shula King's web, his whole social media run, touring with Rodney Perry. I got into the space by working with Mr. Beast. I ended up working with him for 2.5 years. That was one of my first employment jobs, and I was able to spin that into a whole career and work with a host of other people. My expertise probably would be in just content creation and, just taking a client and trying to, now I hate to say make them go viral, because going viral doesn't always, equal conversions. Like, I think some people just want the big numbers, but you don't sell anything, you didn't make any money off of it. So I guess going viral in a way that they can actually profit from it or gain some type of whatever the client's goals is at that point. That was a really loose frame of what I am and what I do. But yeah, I know we pressed for time, so we can't really get into it too hot. But yeah,
so I do want to get into what your purpose is in life, though, Josh. he's getting off. He's running.
Your purpose.
I'm back. Oh shoot, my purpose in I don't know, man. I'm my purpose. So we just saying. So is that like a philosophical thing, or that's just like a corporate thing?
No corporate anything, man. Just like what?
Oh, we having one of them. Shit, I ain't even have to. I ain't know we could have got up here and been. I was trying to make sure my shirt ain't have no stains on it and shit. Like, yeah, we talking real stuff. Oh, my purpose, man. Oh my God. I think to make people happy, bro. To bring joy. That is my purpose in life. I feel like, and I feel like, because if I'm being completely honest with you guys, I'm sorry for stuttering, but I'm kind of it's one of them days. But everything I ever got in my life that I feel like was worthwhile, I got it doing stand-up, which is crazy to believe. But Mr. Beast, currently the biggest YouTuber on the planet Earth, right. He found me in the attic of a restaurant, a shitty restaurant, mind you, 60 people doing stand-up. The biggest YouTuber in the world said, yo, I think you're funny, come and write for me. Now, me, I didn't know what YouTube was at the time. I'm like, yo, what is this dude, like 17 years old? I'm like, yo, whatever, get out my face. So I'm walking to my car. He's walking beside me while we're walking. I get into a beat up Chrysler Sebring with the top back, but the top had holes in it. He gets into a BMW i8. So I'm like, I said, what you say? What you want to do again? What's happening right now? So you know what I mean? So that was my career thing. My wife, I have met her at on the little dating app or whatever. I'm going to the comedy show. She like, yo, I might pop by. I said, yo, let me go change my shirt. I met my wife doing stand-up comedy, man. It's just everything in my life from touring. I'm currently I'm touring. And I don't know if you guys can relate, but you know how you pray for things and then you get it, but you don't realize you so caught up in just the stress of trying to deal with it and manage it that you ain't even realizing 2 years ago, this is what I was begging God for. But now I got it. And I'm like, yo, bro, I don't feel like going to Tacoma next week. You know what I mean? Like you get it. And then you're like, yo, I don't want to do this at all. But I'm dealing with that, man. I'm currently trying to come to terms with, sometimes we get our blessings and we don't know that plane ticket comes with a lot of luggage. It does. Like, some of us want a house. Now, having a big house is awesome. Like, me and Dominique know me. Like, I don't know if Dominique told you our story, but I ain't gonna get too far into it because it ain't past the statute of limitations yet. But when Dominique was in, he was off deployed. I was like, I had just broke up with my child's mother, and I'm one of those people, you leave her and you just let her keep everything, so you starting over. I didn't realize so much that I didn't know how to do until you on your own. Long story short, I'm 30 years old in a student housing. It sounds like what it is, nigga. I'm in student housing with 4 roommates, 30 years old. One roommate had 2 pit bulls. Now, I'm not a snitch, but I told 2 times. I said, this nigga got real dogs in here. It's 4 roommates. The other dude. So we in that. I don't know if y'all can see my room. This is my little office. This was the apartment, aside from a little toilet. And this is where me and Dominique is operating out of. Student housing in our 30s, no bread, to be where he is now, to own his house, for me to live in something that I could fit. That apartment fits in my backyard now. So that's just I don't even know where the hell I was going with this, but that's just the power of God, y'all.
Yeah. So Josh, you and Adrian missed the conversation we had about imposter syndrome, right? So I feel like that goes hand in hand. Like when we broke into our field, we didn't know what we were doing. Like I literally was sleeping when I came home from Afghanistan, I was literally sleeping on his couch. I was like, I don't know what to do. This is before
it was a couch that came with the apartment. You know how you get the fully furnished. We was poor, dude. We had a spot that came. The couch smelled like 4 different occupants. It smelled like 5. Whoever stayed there before us, that's what the couch was on, and that's what he was sleeping on. Shitty ass couch.
It made me get up and go get it. Made me get up and go get it. But what I was saying about imposter syndrome, we don't even realize that we are good at what we do until someone else tells us that, oh, like you're great at what you do. Like, what do you mean? Because we're always looking here. We're never sitting down and saying, oh, like I did it. But I do think it's hand in hand with, if you sit there and say, oh, I'm the man, I don't have to do anything, you lose that drive too. You got to really stay humble when it comes to things like that, but not humble enough to just accept anything or not have people pay you, because at the end of the day, we all need money to operate how we want to, right? So that was the imposter syndrome. Like you guys missed that, but it was a great conversation, because a lot of us experience imposter syndrome every day.
For sure.
Maybe even as in our jobs, in our day-to-day, like going to the gym, you may look at yourself in the mirror and say, oh, I'm skinny or I'm fat, but really you've been in the gym and people can see you and you can't see yourself because you think, oh, I didn't think I would ever be here.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I've had people ask me, and I don't know why I'm still surprised, because Dama knows I work out all the time, and I'll go out and people will ask me, like, do you run track, or you do a lot of squats, like, and I'm like, you can tell, even though I'll go to the gym like 4 to 6 times a week, but still you can be your own worst enemy. Like in my own head, I'm like, can you really tell? And every time someone says it, I'm surprised every time. Like,
yeah,
how did you? Oh my gosh.
You know you in shape when they start asking you for advice. That's how you know you kind of, you know what I mean? When they like, how you get your neck like that? Like, bro, why my neck is like that? How you know?
But the worst thing is though, topic. But when you're in the gym and you are not in shape, but you want to give somebody advice, that's so annoying.
Oh, come on. That's why you get your headphones on. That's why you need like your family. I don't know.
Hey, I'm mad I missed that imposter syndrome thing, man, because I struggle with it. Like I knew what it was, I knew what I was supposed to do, and I still struggle with it because I'm like, with every mistake I've done made every mistake a man could make. I done been divorced, I done had kids out of wedlock, remarried again, done blew money, used to drink, get hot, like everything. It's like, who am I to help men?
The perfect
like,
me,
the perfect
ain't
person,
no
bro.
way possible.
I met you too late in life, though. I got them same boy. Come on now. He was his testimony right then.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Adrian is great. Go ahead, Adrian. You could go into the imposter syndrome. We got a few minutes before we get into the ending of this stream.
Okay, well, I think just the core of it, I think you hit it on the head. I think that's why your supports are important to you. You have to have people around you who can see the best version of you, and you have to be able to trust their vision of you and where you are at. Because just like you said, Dominique, we too busy looking where we want to go. We can't see where we are. You know, that's why I tell people you need people on 3 levels. You need people who can hold you accountable, who can tell you right where you are at, who can check you. Whether you agree with them or not, you at least gonna sit down with it and explore what they said. Because it's like if they're saying something is wrong or something is right, you have to believe them. And then you need the people who are meant to walk beside you, right beside you. And then you need the people who you're pouring into. As long as you got those people on those 3 levels, it is kind of that'll give you the best kind of view of yourself as you go forward. And then it's just reframing. Like, I'm so big on thoughts and perspective. Like, Dominique be making it seem like I did a lot. All I did was work with him on his perspective a little bit and got him to stop fighting stuff. And once he stopped and got out his way, everything just clicked. And then like Dominique is like, once Dominique gets something, it's a wrap. So once he got it, he just been boom ever since, But perspective is everything. It's everything. Right. It's everything. And then I had to ask myself, okay, let's go by the evidence, right? So I can say, who am I to do it? But yet the men keep coming back. I still keep getting all of these testimonials. So based on the evidence, I am him to do it. But like Dominique was saying too, you can't get too comfortable. You always got to continue to improve. You got to continue to look at that next thing. Because if you sit back, I remember when I first got I finally had a waiting list. I'm like, you can't tell me nothing. What? I'm chilling. I ain't doing nothing. Man, it was like 6 weeks happened. I lost like a third of my caseload. I'm like, dang, where I'm going to get clients from? I was lacking. I wasn't doing no promotion. I wasn't following back up with people. It's like, if somebody would call and they miss an appointment, cool. I ain't even reaching out to you for you to check in on you or nothing. I wasn't doing none of that stuff, man. And then I had to get back to remembering, like, this is who I am. Let me get back to really loving what I am and who I was created to do. And as long as you are doing what you were created to do, everything will flow. You won't have to worry about a thing. So
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I can attribute to that too, man. I would contribute to that because as a comic, you travel a lot. And now I'm just coming to that realization. I don't really like travel, bro. So it's just, and it's a horrible thing to realize. So I know what you saying, with your caseload, following up with people, and that's a part of it. People look at all the gold, but they never look at the work that goes into it that you don't speak about. Like, and those be the little things that make the big difference. Like, you gonna have that waiting list when you start following up, but that's little mundane things, bro.
So I think this is a perfect segue. I wish we all could have been here for the entire conversation, but we do have to end at 8:30. So, and I know it's late. So what I want to segue into is something that Pia and I are working on, right? So we have a program that we are training people to be Scrum Masters. Anna, Pia, and I, we're all in that space, right? Scrum Masters and Agile coaches, release train engineers, we all have different roles, but in the Agile space, what we do primarily is similar to what Adrian does, similar to what Josh, what you do, because we do have to be funny and make people like us too. Like, we can't just be dry. Nobody wants a dry Scrum Master. Somebody wants a dry Agile coach.
I don't know if you have to be funny, although I am.
Not funny, but
she's saying
I need to bring your personality.
Yeah.
Corporate sucks the fun out of everything. Like, I'm having a great time now, but y'all wouldn't see me smiling at work. I'd be so mad. Just everything just irritates you more at work.
You can still be yourself. Like, I'm definitely always bringing myself to work, always. So
I can't.
One thing that what separates our program from other programs is not only do we do 4-week training, we do real projects, and then we do a monthly evaluations on those projects. So it's really 8 weeks of projects, and then we try to offer you a job as well, right? So we're not just saying we're going to train you. We want to give you that work experience by giving you a job as well. It may not be a Scrum Master, it may not be a product owner, but you will be able to work under HSI if you perform well, right? So I truly feel like I brought my team together, Pia, Tim, and some other individuals, Josh as well, to help people, to motivate people, to give them a different life, give them a different experience because of where we came from. Like I said, I was sleeping on Josh's couch coming from Afghanistan. I had no clothes. When I tell you,
apartment couch. That was an apartment complex couch, bro. We didn't even have a couch.
I know you were paid when you were in deployment. So where did the money go?
I paid off all my debt. So when I went to Afghanistan, I was heavy in debt. My credit score was messed up. So I was sending money home and I was just paying off debt, constantly paying off debt. I wanted to come back clean.
She doesn't understand, ma'am. We had a lot of money. We just didn't have no credit. Okay, we couldn't get approved. We had one instance. I swear to y'all, Dom said, "I'm gonna pay the rent for the next 6 months, cash," and they said no. Like we had money, but we didn't have no credit history. We didn't have no, because none of us had a place before. I don't know if Dom had a place and ruined it, but I had never had a place before. So it was just we wasn't broke. We wasn't that bad. But we was bad. You know
we were hustling. We were hustling. We were doing things and trying to get some money.
Yeah, literally.
You know, when
we
you
had
come
a lot
back
of money.
off deployment, you can't just like I had to go through different evaluations. I had to go to different checkups and stuff like that. So once I did get finished with that, I was like, what am I going to do? Mm-hmm. And I tried a car wash business. I did not like washing cars. I tried selling clothes. I tried to do a game show, gambling. I tried to do so much. And then when I met my wife, this is the thing. Like,
that car washing business was hilarious, bro. That van you had. They got they got a van with wild.
Wait,
what you say?
Work at the car wash. You actually started a car wash business?
This nigga had a mobile car wash with mad different liquids in it. It had like wild different solutions in that shit, bro. It's just not a van with wild juices in it, bro.
Well, yeah. So this is. I'm gonna tell you what my wife did for me, right? So I did fitness training too. This is how I met my wife. So I came back home. I was fit. So just like Josh said, people start asking you like, "What did you do?" And I was like, "I'll teach you." So I was charging people like $20, $30 an hour. So I was just training people. So I met my wife and
them girls. Yo, cousin, he was a trainer, but the girls was trying to fly him out, bro. He was trying to get.
But that never happened though. So
it did happen, but mad girls was trying to get at you for the.
And I think that's why, I think that's where I was taking all my money. So because when I met my wife and I got serious with when I met my wife. And I told everyone I had a girlfriend. All my clientele fell off. But anyway, but I did that, and then my wife kind of structured me more because of the way she was and how I wanted to go. So now I'm like, I need to get my stuff together. And then I got, like I posted today on Facebook, I got my wife tattooed on my neck maybe 3 months after we were together. I got her whole name on my neck, and now we're coming up on 4 years of marriage. And people are like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Yo, I know this is the one for me." And she's the one that got me in therapy. She's the one that believes in me when nobody else does, and that's why we are going in the direction we're going. She brought me to Adrian, and now she's over here with her own therapist, and now I got Adrian. Like I'm cool. Like I'm putting everything in perspective. Like now I got Adrian.
He a therapist.
Yeah, this is the therapist.
I thought he was a lawyer. He can see right through me, man. He can see my trauma. This he laughing, but he's like, "Yo, the homie's fucked up." But I thought he was a lawyer, my dude. You got my man up here analyzing me. I ain't had no dad. Hey, Adrian, I ain't had no dad, bro. I'm gonna go and let you know. I'll be tweaking.
Hey, that's a huge. We gotta jump up here one day and talk about that.
You about to have me crying up here,
huge.
Man.
Nah, I'm just saying it could be an open, kind of surface level conversation.
Yeah, my dad just passed me, just buried him, bro.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, I made some jokes at the funeral. I got a type 5 out of it. Don't worry about it. I cook, bro. I did.
But yeah, so that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing at Holiday Systems Inc. And we'll be having other programs, other coaching programs coming. But right now, that's what we're doing. We're trying to be different from everyone. We want to produce value out of this company, value in everyone that we're dealing with. So I know it's right at 8:28. Does anyone want to say any farewells or any comments they want to give before we end the call?
I want to make sure that everyone knows they can go to holidayswith2lsinc.com if they want to sign up or find out more about the company and the program. You can also follow me at I am Piarollock. So that's IAM.PIAROLLOCK. And you can feel free and contact me directly if you have any inquiries about the program. I know that you mentioned vaguely about some of the benefits of the program outside of the 4-week training. I just want to kind of highlight again that not only are we offering the live projects, but offering, as you mentioned, the possibility to work for us as well. So that's actually extended real life experience, real work experience that many programs do not offer. So I just wanted to highlight some of the benefits. But that's all that I have.
I'm sorry, Blake.
Anna already told me she'll be able to help me in any way that she wants. I'm gonna put it's on live. I'm gonna record it because she said it last week. She said anything you need, just let me know. So go ahead, Anna. You're gonna say something.
I'm here for the people.
Thank you, man. Your hair looks amazing too. I'm on a little monitor and it still look good.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm sorry. I apologize for being late, guys, man. Sorry.
It's cool. It's cool. Things happen. So Josh, you got anything you want to say or anything you want to put out?
If y'all in Tacoma on this, yeah, man, I'm excited. This is it seems like a very good group. It got great energy from it, man. It's a good break from what I've been doing, man. I actually been writing copy for some new clients, so that's what kind of got me stressed out and all over the place.
Sound like that dog got you stressed out.
Yeah, he locked up, man. He don't play no games, but he like to be out.
All right, Adrian, you got anything you want to put out to the people?
Yeah, I'm gonna say if y'all listening to this, y'all better tap in with this man and this brand and this phenomenal team. This is my first time talking with everybody else up here, but this is definitely good ground. And if you miss the season, you're gonna miss it because what's available and what they offer y'all today probably ain't gonna be here in a year, whether he want to do it or not. It's gonna be supply and demand. So y'all better take it while y'all can.
She's right. We calling it the Trump tax. We going to put an extra 10% on everything just in case. We need extra 10% put in the stats because we don't know what's about to happen.
And Adrian, where can people find you if they want therapy or if they want to speak with you? Where can they find you?
Yeah, you can just go to my website, acceleratedelevation.com. That's probably the easiest place, but you can find me on Psychology Today. Just type in Adrian White. So one of the two.
You read Cry Like a Man before, Adrian?
Nah.
Oh, damn. Oh, we about to relate on some shit. Never mind. My fault.
So before we out here, I do want to say closed mouth don't get fed. So if you're this is your time. If you're listening, clearly you're looking for information, right? When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So you have people that are here interested and invested to helping you. So just make sure you do your due diligence and invest in yourself.
That's right.
Sounds good. So I'll let everyone go. Thanks for joining. Next week, we'll have another panel. If you guys want to join the panel next week, just let me know. Send me a message on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. And everyone have a good night and invest in yourself. Thanks, everyone.
Everybody. Bye.